It's time for the highly anticipated final round of the 2017 HSCC Historic Formula Ford Championship. 3 drivers can still win the championship coming into this final race. Michael O'Brien is the favourite, but drop scores are accounted for. He's got 222 points, 9 points clear of Callum Grant, 10 points clear of Richard Tarling. If Callum Grant were to win this race, Michael O'Brien has to finish on the podium. If Richard Tarling were to win this race, Michael O'Brien has to finish in the top 4. It's as simple as that. Both Grant and Tarling have to win if they are to win the championship. This is how they will line up. After winning the race earlier today, Michael O'Brien will go off pole with Callum Grant alongside. Ed Thurston and Cameron Jackson on row 2, Sam Mitchell, who won't be there, and Richard Tarling on row 3. Tarling by himself on row 3 then Bartel, Tilley, Flanagan and Dryborough make up the top 10 cars on the grid. This championship has been phenomenal this season. No dull races all the way through the year. This is actually the 25th historic Formula Ford race of the season. After having heats the majority of the way through the year, we had 2 races at Silverstone Classic as well. Capacity grid here on the national circuit to round off the year. Let's ride on board with one of our championship contenders for the start. This is Richard Tarling. He won the Formula Palmer Audi Championship in 1998, and away we go. That's a great start from Tarling. It's a poor start again from O'Brien. He has to defend Cameron Jackson. Around the outside of both of them goes Tarling to go second already from 6th on the grid. But leading the way, it's Callum Grant. Here's Cormac Flanagan. He's got Ed Thurston up ahead of him, who also didn't make the best to start. They're heading down towards the Beckett's. Sequence the corners for the first time. Well, Thurston locks up around the outside of him comes Flanagan, who also tries to go around the outside of Bartel, but runs out of road. In fact, he's going to lose a place to Ben Tilley. Change for the lead under the British. Tarling's got the lead already then. Halfway round the first lap. Here comes O'Brien though. He's going to grab second, is he, from Grant. Grant on the inside. They're going to run side by side. So our 3 champion contenders in the top 3. This will be enough though, if they were to finish as they are, for O'Brien. It's very unlikely though to finish as it is, because we saw how many times they changed places in the earlier race. O'Brien has got second though, away from Grant. Field flow their way through Luffield then for this first lap. With the March 709 making its debut appearance in the championship. This is Tony Code, who's come over from Canada to race the car. Side-by-side action up ahead of him. He gets a bit twitchy into Cox Corner as well. Forward with Rob Smith, making his way into Beckett. He's chasing Neil Shinner. That gets very sideways. Looks like there's fluid on the racetrack, which has spun Shinner out. And those are the 2 drivers battling for the over 50s title. Change for the lead, it's Michael O'Brien then, it's gone to the front. Callum Grant under pressure from Cameron Jackson. Now the track's a bit slippery though, with some fluid that's gone down. Into Luffield come the lead, you can see that train of fluid. And Jackson goes to the inside of it, where his rivals go to the outside. It's very sideways there, Rob Smith. He saw his rival Neil Shinner spin a few moments ago, and he had a big moment there. There's Shinner way back. The lead, absolutely side by side, almost wheel bagging between Tarling and O'Brien. O'Brien on the inside trying to hold on to the lead here. He's done it. He stays ahead. Tarling knows he has to win it. He's out wide, but also for Tarling, he knows that O'Brien has to go down the order. With Cameron Jackson, he's going to try and pass both of them down in towards Beckett, but O'Brien's got the lead. Twitching himself there on that fluid that's gone down. Very tricky conditions then on the first few laps of this one. Cameron Jackson's going to go for the lead, isn't he, by the time they get down the Wellington straight, down the end of it. Is he going to get through his level with O'Brien here? O'Brien's got the inside line though, so he should be able to hold on. But Cameron Jackson is the last of the late breakers here. We saw that in race 1, and he has got the lead. Down into Luffield then, it is Jackson from Tarling, with O'Brien third. So Tarling also got past O'Brien into Brooklands on that time. Now Tarling has to find a way past Jackson. He's in the slipstream heading through the flat out Woodcote corner. He's catching him and catching him and catching him all the way up towards Cop. Then he goes to the inside to grab the lead. He goes through then, so Richard Tarling in the Jamin leads the Lola. back on board with Tony Cove in that March. He's trying to gain a place up on the inside through Woodcote, so he gains one. Border of Alison Langridge, she's making her way through Luffield, and side-by-side action just up the road, and right round the outside of her goes Kevin Stansel, who's dropped back in the early stages, so he must have got caught out on that slippery surface, and he's going to try and gain another place by the time he gets to Cop. Langridge in one of the Lotuses out here. She's in a Lotus 61. We've got a 51, a 61 and a 69 all in this race, which is great to see. Somebody that's gone a bit wide out of Cop's corner, but they go to get away with that. Now down towards Beckett's, and Donald Laird in the Alden dives to the inside to gain a place. Here are the leaders. Jackson looking to the outside, and Tarling go right round the outside at Luffield. Phenomenal stuff there from Cameron Jackson if he can make that one work. They're side by side, heading all over through Woodcote, and still round the outside. He's trying Cameron Jackson. He's still going to be on the outside by the time they get into Cop. And Callum Grant also went round the outside of Michael O'Brien, so O'Brien down to fourth. Tarling lead, so O'Brien in the right place still to win the championship, but he can't lose any more. And here comes Jackson. If Grant gets the lead, he'll be in the box seat for the championship. But it's Cameron Jackson, in fact, that will lead as they turn right into Beckett, just nose and ahead of Richard Tarling, who's on his inside. But Jackson has got it. It's Lola from Jamin, from Merlin, onto the Wellington Straight. Not going to be that order any longer because Tarling's pulled out the toe to go past Jackson. He's nosing ahead. He's ahead then. By the time they get to Brooklands, what can Jackson do on the brakes? It's actually Michael O'Brien that goes through the middle of the three of them to get the lead. Fantastic stuff there from Michael O'Brien, but round the outside is attempting Richard Tarling as they appear behind the barriers. Who's it going to be? Still side by side, but it's Tarling on the inside that has it. He's sliding out wide down the inside of both, and then comes Cameron Jackson. Changes at every moment in this race, but Jackson hasn't got the momentum. So it's Tarling from O'Brien as they cross the line. O'Brien trying to come round the outside into Cop's corner, but he can't do it. So Tarling stays in front, but O'Brien doing what he needs to do so far, and real battling going on further back as well. Tim Price leading that train of cars. And involved in that, having his first race in the championship, coming from the back of the grid, is Mads Graveston in the Palliser, in the car that Chris Sharples races regularly. A change between the two Arnolds. Rachel Arnold going round the outside into Woodcote to pass her dad. Roger, who we're on board with. Here's Cormac Flanagan. He's got some side-by-side action in front of his. Ben Tilley goes ahead of Max Bartel. Bartel, though, challenging. Back down the Wellington Straight to go back ahead of Tilley. He does it, and Cormac Flanagan trying to get both of them into Brooklands. He's on the wrong line, and the inside is Bartel, and Tilley's going to stick it there on the inside to stay ahead as well, just about. Tarling, though, leading the train. There's Cormac Flanagan in the Alexis, making it 4 different types of car in that lead battle. Stephen King under pressure from Tony Covey in the March. Tony Cove then down the inside. The Canadian driver gains a place. And now Mads Graveston's gone to the front of this battle. The Dutch racer who only passed his ARDS test at the beginning of the week. Meanwhile, Harvey Dykes was going for the pit lane. And here comes Cameron Jackson on the inside of Michael O'Brien. He can't make that work. It's Richard Tarling that still leads. They turn right through Beckett's and onto the Wellington Straight they go, out over the curbs. Jackson in the toe of O'Brien. He is going to push O'Brien just a touch there. Bit of bump drafting to get them up towards Tarling. O'Brien to the inside, Jackson to the outside. It's me, Michael O'Brien, that leads into Brooklyn. Around it outside comes Cameron Jackson. So down to third for Richard Tarling. Into Luffield they turn. 94 O'Brien, 57 Jackson, 53 Tarling. They've got a tiny gap to Callum Grant and Ed Thurston. A bit of a bigger gap back to Ben Tilley, who's ahead of Max Bartel now. And at the back of that train of cars was Cormac Flanagan. across the line, and Tarling now pushing Jackson past O'Brien. So Cameron Jackson's going to get the lead here. Is he? No, because Michael O'Brien fighting around the outside. In fact, Jackson does get it. O'Brien was trying ever so hard round the outside to stay ahead, but now he uses the slipstream up towards Beckett to have a go for the lead again. So now O'Brien does get through. They've got traffic. That's Ali Language in her Lotus. They lap her down the inside. They all go. It's Michael O'Brien that leads, and he'll be the one giving the slipstream away. Jackson comes out of the toe, and Tarling pushing in by O'Brien now. So working together, Cameron Jackson and Richard Tarling to go first and second. Down into Brooklands, round the outside, attempts Tarling. He's not going to get that though. It all come down to the last lap. And out wide goes Jackson. So Tarling down the inside. Tarling's going to get the lead here, is he? He's going to give it a good go. Hasn't got the lead just yet. He's back in the slipstream through Woodcote, but he's got a good run here. And now he goes down the inside, up towards Cops Corner to get the lead. So first for Tarling, second for Jackson. Out over the curbs for the race leader. There's a Graveston leading this battle. He's ahead of Brian Morris. They've got a gap now to Andrew Wiggins, who's gapped Tim Bride. He's got Jeff Underwood behind him. Then Lee Penson in one of the Lotuses. Field flow their way through. There's the mark just ahead of Kevin Stansel's Crosley. Side by side into Cops. Cormac Flanagan goes back past Ben Tilley. Max Bartel ahead of both of them and just starting to gap them now. So Cormac Flanagan having a great run here to run in the leading pack. Only started racing last year. Oh, out over the curbs there for Ben Tilley, who's the runner-up in this year's Historic Formula Junior Championship. Here come the leading train through Brooklands and in traffic. Getting all very busy there. Now turning their way through more cars to lap Richard Tarling and Cameron Jackson. With a small gap now to Michael O'Brien, who's got Callum Grant right on his tail. Ed Thurston there as well. Now much bigger gap now to the next car, which is Max Bartel. Out wide in traffic was Cormac Flanagan, allowing Ben Tilley down the inside. Here comes Grant, then round the outside of O'Brien into Cops Corner. O'Brien holding on though, he continues to lead. That battle of the two Merlins. O'Brien, and then Ed Thurston in fact dives to the inside of both of them. A great move there from the Eldon. So it's in fact it's 5 different types of car in this lead battle, isn't it? We've got the Eldon of Thurston, the Massive Merlins, the Jamin of Tarling, the Lola of Jackson, and the Alexis of Flanagan. So first he's got third. Grant coming down the inside here, so down to fifth is Michael O'Brien. But into the lead goes Cameron Jackson. He's got the lead away from Richard Tarling. I was going to say if Tarling leads this and O'Brien's down in fifth, the championship would be Tarling, but Cameron Jackson back in front now. And Grant first and O'Brien. Then you've got Bartow and Tilley and Flanagan having this great battle side by side all the way around the lap. Inside down towards Cox is Cormac Flanagan. He seems to have a bit better straight line speed than Ben Tilley. But Tilley having to make up the time in the corners. Inside to get the place is Flanagan. He goes to P7, allowing Bartel to get away. And now Tilley is fighting back to go back into that position. So he's back into 7th, in towards Beckett. Carry as much speed through the corner as possible, out over the curbs. There, Cormac Flanagan drags his way back to him and back through underneath the bridge. For the lead, Tarling turns into the corner and round the outside. Cameron Jackson has it. Right into Laffield. Ever so close between the two, and they are pulling away from the gap cars behind. Grant and Thurston and O'Brien dropping into the clutches of Max Bartel here. So Michael O'Brien dropping back. Meanwhile, Rob Smith, our over 50s leader, looking good for that championship, gains a place on the circuit because Ross Driver runs out wide. Here are the leaders, Tarling down the inside to pass Jackson then. So back into the lead goes Richard Tarling. In the toe, down towards Beckett's is Jackson. Further back, there's Tim Bride Jeff Underwood and Lee Penson having a nice battle. Jackson challenging Tarling then up towards Brooklands, and Jackson gets the lead. Oh, he has a big twitch in the middle of the corner. So Tarling back through. Into Luffield they turn then, coming into the real closing stage of this one. Tarling wins this. It's looking good for the championship now because O'Brien down to 6th. He's sideways there. Has he got an issue? Look, the car not handling it too well there. So through goes Ben Tilley into 6th, with Cormac Flanagan follows him through. So O'Brien down to 8th now. So if Richard Tarling can win this, the championship will be his. But Cameron Jackson's given him a real go for the win. Out of a 6th position now between Tilley and Flanagan. It's a great one. Changing positions multiple times a lap. Down towards Beckett. Not been quite as crazy as the earlier races when the leaders change positions at every corner. Side by side, Tarling's got Jackson at the moment. I think they'll be starting their last lap when they cross the line this time. Jackson right there, Tarling cannot rest, and Grant's in 3rd with 1st and 4th, so Grant's ready to pick up the pieces if anything happens in front. And there's Tilley and Flanagan, a much bigger gap back to Michael O'Brien. Look, he's got a flat rear left tyre there, it's a puncher there for Michael O'Brien. Something you don't see in this championship. In the final round, Michael O'Brien with a puncher. And through into the lead goes Cameron Jackson. So Jackson could be saving O'Brien here for the championship because he's got ahead of Tarling. If Tarling doesn't win this, Michael O'Brien will be the champion with a puncher. But Cameron Jackson leads the way down towards Beckett. Richard Tarling will be the driver, getting the slipstream down the Wellington Straight. We know Jackson is good on the brakes. Tarling pulls out of the toe. He comes up alongside the Neil Fowler run Lola. He's nosing ahead. He's on the outside line though. By the time they get to Brooklands, he's trying to come across here, but no, down the inside goes Cameron Jackson, but he outbrakes himself. He slides out wide. So Richard Tarling gets the lead back. They turn into Luffield. There's traffic to deal with it. Tarling's got a gap back to Jackson, who's got Granton first and right on his tail. In 5th is a Bartel, with a gap back to Tilley and Flanagan in 6th and 7th. But the 2017 historic Formula 4 champion is going to be, with the race win, Richard Tarling. Absolutely together between Jackson and Grant for 2nd. Ed Burson took 4th. This is a battle for 6th. The rages right to the end. Ben Tilley just beating Cormac Flanagan, but a right to the end there, with the championship being won by Richard Tarling, with sliding out wide Cameron Jackson, a puncher for Michael O'Brien. That was right to the end there. Neil Schiller, Matt Wrigley and David Wild involved. There's a Brian Morris, he's lonely at the end. Next car is much further back. Here we go, there's Andrew Wiggins, who's got a couple of lap cars between himself and Tim Bride. It's got Jeff Underwood, and Arthur Atkinson and a few more as well in that battle. So that raging right to the end. Let's take a look at the results of the final race, and it was Tarling that won it by 6/10, won the championship by 6/10 of a second. Cameron Jackson took 2nd in the race from Callum Grant. Ed Thurston was 4th, ahead of Max Bartel and Ben Tilley. Cormac Flanagan, a great drive from him, to 7th. Rob Smith, winning the over 50s title, took 8th, ahead of Ross Driver and Neil Schiller. Matt Wrigley, David Wild, Mads Graveston, who come from the back to get 13th. Brian Morris, Andrew Wiggins, Tim Bride, Jeff Underwood, Arthur Atkinson, Stephen King, Lee Penson, Dick Dixon, James Lovett, Kevin Stansel and Tony Cove on the lead lap. Peter Hannum, Alan Cook, Rachel and Roger Arnold, Nick Arden, Alison Langridge making up the finishers for another dramatic historic Formula Ford race. And there are your top 10 in the championship. Richard Tarling winning it by 1 point. It's been close racing all year in the championship there. Fittingly won by the smallest of margins. Richard Tarling, the most winning driver as well. 7 victories he had, mainly come in the second half of the season. Michael O'Brien 2nd, Rick and Callum Grant in 3rd. What a fantastic championship battle it has been between the 3 of them.